Hi, Hillary. My name is Megan. I'm going to be your counselor for today. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay, Megan. How are you?
I'm good. So why are you here today?
Megan, my husband gets has seizures, and his doctor has suggested that he gets a support dog. And to because dogs can like tell when people are about to have seizures, and that way we can like protect my husband. And I am really afraid of dogs. When I was 7, I was a Chihuahua bit me, and I have like I've never gotten over it. My like palms start to sweat, my heart starts to race at like the sight of a dog. I cannot watch movies with dogs in them. I
Hmm.
cannot go on walks. I cannot not go to the park. And having a dog in our house is the last thing that I want, but it's important for my husband's safety. And so I've come to you because I have to do something about it.
Okay. Um, so how long ago, I'm sorry, how long ago was it that you
I was 7.
you were
Now
7?
I'm
Okay.
5.
Okay. So is it small dogs that you don't feel comfortable around? Big dogs? Is there
Any dogs I do not
any
like.
dogs?
I can't, I mean, especially the little ones, the little yappy ones, they move fast. They've sharp teeth. They are terrifying. Like even just talking about these little dogs, it just like makes my skin crawl. But I
Hmm.
don't like puppies. I don't like big dogs, even like big drooling slow dogs
Hmm.
that I just can't.
How do you feel about like cats and other animals, or is it just dogs?
I don't love other animals because they all bite.
Hmm.
But they do not like elicit that like distressful response that
Okay.
I get when I see or hear a dog.
Okay. What do you think about, now this will be through a couple of different sessions, but kind of just talking through it with you so we're kind of on the same page. What do you think about if we start small and kind of increase um, doing different things each week or every time we meet as far as like getting you more exposed to the dog? So when you are at that point to get the dog with your wife, you're kind of ready to make that jump. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's horrifying, but we have to do it. And my husband's getting a dog in 4 weeks, so
Hmm.
it's important, and knowing that it's so important is like the only reason that I am willing to do this.
Yeah. And I think it's great that you're coming here and making your first step. It definitely sounds like you've had motivation from her seizures and just from all of her health problems. So I think that's wonderful. So how do you feel about starting slowly and listening to um, some recording, video recording or tape recording of a dog?
I
Just
mean,
the
I
barking.
just listening to the barking.
Hmm.
I do not want to do that, but that doesn't mean I won't. Like that sounds scary.
Okay. Okay. Is
But
that
yeah, go ahead.
that's something you'd want to try?
I think that is it makes sense that we start there.
Okay. What do you think about doing that? Maybe uh, like maybe a minute, um, a couple of times a week, just to kind of get used to hearing the noise, um, and kind of like while you're doing it, how does that make you feel? Kind of journaling, how that is making you feel, just so we can kind of like process that and kind of go from there. What do you think?
I can do that.
Okay.
I'm not looking forward to it, but I
Right.
but I but I can do it. I can do
Okay.
that. All right, I'll write that down. So you're
Yeah.
so between now and next session, how
Between
many?
now and next session, which I think we agreed on, we're going to be meeting weekly. You will just listen to the dog maybe for like a minute, 2 times a week,
1 minute, just 2 times,
two
two
times. To slowly ease into it. I don't want to
times.
overwhelm you, especially with the fear of the dog that you have, the Chihuahua.
Yeah,
So that's why I'm thinking like if you can do more than 2 times a week, that's great. But we'll start out with the 2 times a week.
yeah, I can.
Um,
I have it written down.
and then just write down like some thoughts about how you're feeling as you hear the dogs. And then I was thinking maybe we could The following week, walk in the neighborhood after work. A lot of people, you know how they walk the dogs after work. Maybe like if it's a nice day, you and your wife could go for just a short walk, nothing big, but maybe across the street from if somebody else is walking a dog, you know, just kind of like to have that small little bit of exposure outside. What do you think about that?
I mean, especially I think with her, I'd feel or excuse, yeah, I'll feel better. So that's 2 times a week,
2 times a week.
or how
Yep.
long?
I'd say maybe like for 10, 15 minutes. I mean, it's a walk, so you might not pass the dogs all the time, but there might be smaller dogs, you know, around.
Okay, yeah, okay. I'm sure she'll want to do that. So
And then how about going to a park for the third week? I was thinking we could have a plan of maybe like going to a dog park or something with your wife, or even alone if she's not feeling good. You could just maybe be there in the vicinity where all the dogs are, you know, not just one, but maybe like a few dogs. Maybe be just slowly kind of getting closer to the dogs if you feel comfortable. So
you'll
you're
be
not,
there,
I'm sorry.
and you'll be there.
Yeah. Yeah, we could do that one time. Mhm. Yeah, so I would be there together with you, and we would slowly kind of introduce yourself to the dogs in the dog park.
Okay.
I know it seems like a lot, but you said 4 weeks, was it? That
Yeah, I have 4 weeks. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, again, like, we can go slowly, we don't have to jump into it, I'm just kind of, like, slowly, you know, getting you a little bit used to being
No,
around the dogs.
yeah, I can see that. I can see that this is like easing in.
Yeah. And then so the fourth thing I was thinking of you after we go to the dog park, the fourth thing, and you tell me when we're ready, we'll just go slow, is actually sitting next to the dog. Maybe a small dog, maybe not necessarily a chihuahua, something else, if you don't want to, but just sitting next to the dog, being close to the dog. Because when you even though it's the dog's gonna be a benefit to your wife and her health problems, you still have to physically be in the same house or, you know, under the same roof. So you are gonna be having the dog with you. So what do you think about going to a dog park slowly together and then sitting next to the dog, not petting it, just being around it?
I mean, I can, yes, that is part of, yes, that is part of the plan. I get it. Yes, we'll do
Okay.
it.
And then the final thing would be petting the dog, sitting next to the dog and petting the
And I
I
have
know.
four,
I can sense some apprehension and some, you know, some worry.
uh, but it's important. And I have 4 weeks. We're talking about it all right now, but I have 4 weeks.
Yeah. So I think that you know, if we can slowly just kind of ease you into it, um, again, even if we go to the dog park just like once or twice, um, maybe 3 times, just to kind of like get you used to being around the dog slowly instead of just like coming home one day and having the dog at your house.
Yeah, yeah.
So as long as we'll try those, and as long as you're willing to do that, we can start next week with listening to the dog. Does that sound good?
Okay, yeah.
And we'll go from there. So do you have any questions for me or anything that we need to talk about that we didn't?
Um, no, no. It's really intimidating, but
Mhm.
I have like a good reason to do it, and I think that that will be a driving force.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll start then next week. If you have any questions, just feel free to call, and then I will see you next week at the same time.
Okay. Yep. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Hillary.
Bye bye.